We are learning a lot about what China is doing when it comes to interterrestrial travels because some of these leaks have told us that they're moving along at a pretty brisk pace. Some say the pace far faster than ours. Gordon Chang with us right now on the significance of that. Gordon, it's good to have you because some of the revelations, besides just the capacity they have China for a supersonic drone that can travel at 3 times the speed of sound, an international space station, in their case, they're the only nation, so it isn't it's just their national space station. The fact that they now have the capability of knocking out enemy satellite guidance and have that technology today, what are they up to?
Well, they believe, and they're right, that in the first moments of a war, that'll be fought in space, where we will try to take down their satellites, they'll try to take down ours. And they probably will move first, Neil, which means they will be more successful than we will be. And another thing, we just don't understand the maliciousness of the Chinese system, so they could really take us by surprise.
One of the things they have is this technology that can disrupt other technology. In other words, the ability of our technology to communicate with other forms of technology and monitor troop movements and the like, sort of like what we do in Ukraine right now. If they could jar that, stop that, prevent us from getting information on that, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, it certainly is. And if we go back to the Obama administration, there was a political decision made not to try to defend our satellites because we reasoned that we had more assets in space and that if we started a race to protect satellites, we would be the losers. We wanted to try to entice China and Russia into not defending their satellites. Well, that just misunderstood the Chinese and the Russians. And so now we're behind and we are vulnerable in space.
Now, meanwhile, they're going it alone to the moon. They've made great progress, we're told. They might beat us there in the second wave of astronauts to get there. We could always say, of course, we did this more than 50 years ago. But that being said, they're active on the far side of the moon, so we're not aware of exactly all they're doing. But their plans on the moon are much more sweeping than what we're doing. Should we worry?
Yeah. In 2017, Chinese space officials started talking about how the moon and Mars should be considered part of the People's Republic of China and that they would exclude others from going there if they had the capability to do that. Now, we say that that's ludicrous, but, we didn't listen to Osama bin Laden either.
Do we now have any way to counter what China's doing now? In other words, any more economic sanctions, or is it that we're afraid of implementing them because they're going to hurt us?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of ways to go after China, which right now is in distress. It has an economy that they said grew 4.5% in Q1, but probably was a lot less because we know that it contracted in January and February. So, yeah, economic sanctions. There's all sorts of things we can do in space, but we have decided as a nation not to do those things and to watch the Chinese overtake us. And that is a strategic failure that will be historic. The American people ought to demand the Biden administration start racing to the space as the Chinese have.
Indeed, and they are racing along. Thank you very much, Gordon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.